Other issues raised by Mkhwanazi. 33. Mkhwanazi also testified, that is General Mkhwanazi, also testified IDEC sought to get involved in matters involving syndicates in Gauteng. He is incorrect on the submission. 34. He alleges that he doesn't understand why IDEC was getting involved in the matters of Molefe and Matlala, as this was dealt with by the PKTT and Gauteng organized crime. 35. IDEC is not involved in any investigation relating to Molefe. With regards Vusi Mose, in inverted commas, Cat Matlala, Matlala in brackets, IDEC's only interest arose out of a Section 27 referral from SAPS with regards the unlawful awarding of a tender to his company, Medicare 24, and allegations of collusion and corruption with Matlala and some SAPS officials. IDEC did get cyber search warrants for the cell phones and electronic devices of Matlala. These were presented to IDEC by a Lieutenant Colonel Khumalo. The data was downloaded in his presence and he left with the devices. The information is sought in relation to the tender matter.
Before we leave paragraph 35, insofar as Mr. Matlala's case is concerned, do I understand you correctly that that was triggered by a different Section 27 referral received from SAPS? It's not the Section 27 referral that we've been discussing received from Mr. Adams.
Senior police officials
with the Investigative Directorate Against Corruption, IDEC head Advocate Andre Johnson has acknowledged that she previously maintained contact with Crime Intelligence Deputy Head Feroz Khan outside of work, but insists their relationship never compromised her professional responsibilities. Testifying before the Matlanga Commission on Tuesday, Johnson firmly rejected allegations that she had protected Khan from criminal scrutiny, saying she would never interfere with the administration of justice. Johnson told the commission that while she and Khan had a cordial relationship and occasionally discussed matters outside the workplace, they had not been in contact for about 18 months, and said, "I had very limited contact with General Khan and have had no contact with him for approximately the past year and a half." She also confirmed attending Khan's 50th birthday celebration with her husband several years ago, but stressed that the social interaction had no bearing on her role as head of IDEC. Johnson said she deliberately distanced herself from Khan after media reports emerged in late 2024 alleging that he had links to individuals connected to murders of liquidators Glowet and Thomas Murray. The father and son were gunned down in a targeted daytime attack on Johannesburg's N1 highway on March 18, 2023, in a case that has since become one of South Africa's most high-profile murder investigations. According to Johnson, concerns surrounding the allegations prompted her to raise the issue directly with Khan during a Public Service Commission and the Department of Public Service and Administration workshop. And said, I told him that the media reports about his alleged involvement with persons linked to the Murray murders were concerning. I further stated that if evidence of criminality by him were brought to IDEC, it would be dealt with in accordance with the law. Johnson also revealed that one of Murray's sons had approached IDEC seeking assistance with the investigation. However, she explained that the directorate had no legal mandate to investigate the matter and instead advised him to escalate his concerns through senior South African Police Service management. Addressing allegations that she had shielded Khan from protection, Johnson dismissed the claims as speculative and unsupported by evidence. She told the commission that the accusations lacked key factual details, including the identity of the complainant, the specific police docket involved, when the alleged disclosure took place, and what confidential information was purported shared. Johnson maintained that had any credible evidence of criminal conduct by Khan been presented to IDEC, it would have been investigated without fear or favor, regardless of any prior acquaintance between them. Johnson has also alleged, without evidence, that key appointments within the Crime Intelligence Unit by Lieutenant General Dumisani Khumalo division were not merely irregular, but formed part of a calculated plan to gain access to and allegedly loot the Secret Service account. She said investigation had uncovered what it believes was a coordinated pattern of alleged state capture, fraud and corruption involving Khumalo and other senior crime intelligence officials. The allegations stem from a sworn Section 27 affidavit submitted by National Colored Congress leader Fadayel Adams, whose complaint led to the criminal investigation and the arrest of Khumalo and his co-accused. According to Johnson, the significance of the case lies not in any single appointment, but in the broader picture revealed by multiple investigations. And said when one looks at all the cases referred to IDEC by Adams, they depict the capture of systems and processes for private interest by head of CI and other senior managers. Johnson alleged that Khumalo and his co-accused deliberately placed trusted individuals in strategic positions to facilitate access to secret funds while sidestepping established controls, and that the appointment and installation of certain persons in certain positions with the CIU by Khumalo and his co-accused persons helped them strategically to access funding without following proper processes. Their token appointments would not stop them from their unlawful acts. She said each case may appear unrelated when viewed in isolation, but together they reveal what IDEC believes is an alleged pattern of fraud, corruption, state capture, and defeating the ends of justice. A key charge relates to the appointment of Brigadier Dineo Mukwele, a former BMW employee, to a senior crime intelligence office. Adams alleged that Mukwele lacked the required qualifications and that her appointment was one of several moves designed to facilitate the alleged looting of the police secret account. However, the commission previously had that Khumalo defended the appointment, saying it complied with applicable recruitment processes. SAPS Legal Services also found the appointment to be lawful. Khumalo has denied all wrongdoing, insisting the criminal case is built on fabricated allegations orchestrated to force him from office. In evidence before both the Commission and Parliament's ad hoc committee, he claimed the criminal syndicate known as the Big Five, together with corrupt elements within the SAPS, manufactured claims linking him to the alleged abuse of the Secret Service account. He also told the Commission he uncovered extensive corruption after assuming command of crime intelligence, including the alleged existence of 52 ghost employees who continued receiving salaries despite performing no official duties. Khumalo and his co-accused remain out on bail. They have asked the NPA to review the charges against them while proceedings before the Madlanga Commission continue. What's your take on this one, people? Thanks for watching. Please subscribe for more news.